Howdy YouTube, and welcome to this episode of the Gunman. So today we're going to be doing the spray painting on this Mazda 3. So the color is Soul Red Crystal and it's a factory candy color. Pretty cool color if you ask me. As you can see there, we've got a new back panel that went on, and I went to the extent of making that boot floor looking nice and factory there. Did all the seam sealer work, got that grey primer color. I actually mixed that up in Enviro base, and then I dusted some of the color over the top of it and got all the sealer done, and yeah, it looks nice and neat in there. It's little bits of attention to detail like that, which I do believe are the difference between a good job and an average job, and little things like the paint edges that you may or may not get between the door gaps and stuff like that. That can be the difference between a good painter and an average painter. So we're going to be sort of skipping through each stage relatively quickly. Obviously, I've got all the prep work done, the masking done. I've even got the wet on wet primer down on that back panel. I've gone and plastic primed the rear bumper cover as well. I then actually put some wet on wet primer over the repaired area on that quarter panel, but you may have also noticed that I kept all of my blend panels covered up with a piece of plastic as to not contaminate them with my wet on wet primer. So look, the booths that I'm working in now, so for those of you who are unaware, I've actually just moved to a new shop here, and these booths actually don't have the best suction. Like, they're great booths, don't get me wrong, but I have found that the fumes seem to hang around a little bit longer in these low bake booths than other booths. So all that really means is that I've just got to be a little bit more careful with my overspray and just be aware of it. At the end of the day, that's the main thing. If you know that that's what they do, or that's what these booths are like, you know how to work around it. So as I say, like, I'm not complaining about the booths. They actually rip a booth. They're really nice and big. Yeah, so not, I'm not complaining about them by any means. I really like how they heat up really nice and quick. Like, you'll hit bake on these and within a few minutes it'll be up to 60 degrees. Now, I'm just going to forewarn you that this is definitely not one of my best jobs that I've ever done, and I just feel like uploading it. Like, I've got jobs that come out much better that I could be sharing with you guys or uploading first, but I don't know why, I just felt like sharing this one, and as much as anything, just to show that I'm not afraid to show you guys that I am imperfect and that nobody is perfect, especially in this trade. There is so many things that can go wrong in spray painting. And look, at the end of the day, most of them are avoidable, I find. Like, some of the people that you see over the years that sort of struggle with spray painting, you look at some of the mistakes they've done, and it's like, man, that was really easily avoidable. You know what I mean? Like, if you had have thought about that a little bit more, or if you had have followed a slightly better procedure, then you didn't that job didn't have to come out like that. But I do notice that some people, they lack a little bit of concentration or whatever it may be. It just seems to me that sometimes their mind isn't 100% on the job. And be sure to let me know your thoughts on that in the comments down below. But that aside, we'll just continue on with this job here. So this is Soul Red Crystal, and it might look a bit strange to those of you who are not in the industry and don't know the way you're meant to spray these colors, but you've got to put your ground coat down, and it's this pinky orangey, yeah, more of an orangey gold color, I guess. You've got to spray this down first, and then we've got to spray 3 coats of the candy over the top of that. And this may sound a little bit unprofessional, but it's just something that's worked for me as far as it goes. Like, I don't overthink things. So you look at me doing this blend here, you know what I mean? So I do think about things, but not too much. You've got to be kind of pretty loose and relaxed when you are behind the gun, and you've just got to think about it as you're going sometimes. So you may have noticed that originally I might have decided to do 2 tight blends on the one on the rear door and blend it through to that quarter panel, but then I just decided last minute, you know what, I'm going to color in the top section of that door with the ground coat as well, because it's going to eliminate an extra blend. So rather than having a possible blend that you could see on the front of the rear door, the back of the rear door, the quarter panel and the front door, so rather than having, say, 3 or 4 blends that you could see, there's going to be 2. So there's going to really just be that one up the pillar, the one on the front door, and I guess technically from the top to the bottom of the door I actually did blend it as well. But yeah, that's why I did decide to color the entire top section of this rear door, as I say, to eliminate an extra blend, because that's possibly going to be more what you're going to see rather than where the full color is. Yeah, it's more going to be the blend that's easier to see. So I'm using PPG EnviroBase, and on the topic of blends, it's actually really good. Like, I've found that it's much easier to keep this color contained than the Stando Blue. So I was actually just talking to someone on Instagram about it, and he asked me the question, oh, which system do you think is better? And I said, look, if I had to say, I would probably say the Axalta system, so Stando Blue, Chromax Pro and Spies High Tech. I would probably say they are the better systems, but that's not to say that there aren't positives on the EnviroBase. So I find the EnviroBase easier to blend, easier to keep that color contained. So because you have to spray the Stando Blue with that 2 bar pressure, or just thereabouts, like 1.7 to 2 bar, I've found that just makes that color just float where you don't want it to go. And with this EnviroBase, it just seems a lot easier to blend. And look, that's just me. You don't have to agree. It's all good. We're entitled to our own opinions, but I just find that the EnviroBase is a little bit easier to blend. But yeah, this is the candy color going down. So we're going to be doing 3 coats of this, and this is in a tinted clear. So I got this method off one of the other painters, and they do some warranty work. So he's actually done quite a lot of this color, which is the Soul Red Crystal, as I mentioned before. So what he does is he does these 3 coats of tinted clear, followed by a coat of untinted clear. So you just standard clear over the entire job to lock it down. But what he does is bakes it after you put your first 3 coats of tinted clear down. He'll bake it for half an hour, and then he'll put his coat of clear down. Now that's where the issue came for me. So what I did was I thought, you know what, I might use fast reducer in this tinted clear here, and the reason behind that was so that I didn't trap solvents in there, because usually you don't put 4 coats of clear coat down. And look, I'm working in a smash environment, so we just have to get these cars out. I actually did this job here start to finish all by myself, including the boot floor, prep, mask, color matching, all that stuff in one day on the Friday. So I've got to produce a certain amount of work, and I like it that way, don't get me wrong. I actually enjoy the challenge. So all of that aside, what I had decided to do was to put the fast reducer in the 3 coats of tinted clear, and then I was going to go with a slower reducer in the final coat of clear after I'd baked it. But as it turned out, I had an extra 500 mils of the fast clear, and I didn't want to throw it out. I really should have, in hindsight. I should have just said, you know what, I stuffed up there, I shouldn't have mixed up that much clear, and I'll just mix up another batch of slow clear to put over the top, and that way it's going to flow out a little bit nicer. And another thing I should have also done in hindsight is I reckon 15 or 20 minutes probably would have been enough to bake it for. So what I actually ended up getting scared of, after the half an hour bake, it was probably still too warm. I was scared that I might lose adhesion, if I was to wait for too long. And being that I used the fast reducer in the candy coats, I was sort of a bit worried that I might lose that chemical adhesion if you leave it for too long. So if I was to leave this job here overnight, come in the morning, and then pop another coat of clear over it, there is no way it's going to stick, because you pass that window of being going to get your chemical adhesion, because it's sort of still tacky enough to take that next coat. So because I'd used the fast clear in the first 3 coats, I was actually worried, and I had clear in the gun, and I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna have to go for this. So that's why I was left with some imperfect results, but I knew it would buff up, you know what I mean? So I just had to leave it. But it's this coat here that I'm doing now. The booth was still warm, the car was still warm, and this clear really wasn't going on nicely. So it turned out that I ended up having to just sand it all back with 1500 grit. For whatever reason, this tailgate actually came up okay, but down the side it was really hungry and really dry. I was pretty let down by myself. I should have known better, but I tell you what, you know, every day is a learning day, and I definitely learnt a big lesson on this job here, and it's a mistake that I won't make again. But as I say, as much as anything, this video here is just to prove to you guys that even the professionals make mistakes, and you know, I'm definitely not above making mistakes. This job here is, it went out looking fine. It did go out looking fine. Now, I actually forgot to get any after video footage of this once the job was done. But as you can see there, especially through that quarter panel, it was drying on me as I was spraying it on. But as I said, like if I left it for another 15 minutes or 10 minutes to let that booth cool down, I was scared that I was going to lose adhesion. So I just had to go for it. You know what I mean? So yes, imperfect results, but you know, it is what it is. I made it work. It buffed up. That's the main thing. The color looks fine, so the hard parts looked good. You know what I mean? The color blended out really nice, and the color looks incredible. Like, isn't it just one hell of a color? But yeah, I hope you guys have learned something from my mistakes. So yeah, if you are to use the fast reducers in your first 3 coats, just give it a shorter bake and use a slower reducer in the last coat. So yes, that's what I recommend doing. Yes, I've actually since done a respray on a CX-5, and that one came up really nice. So I'm glad I got this little learning experience. But all that aside, until next time, get out there and paint some shit. I'd like to say a big thanks to everyone for watching, and if you'd like to support the channel further, you're more than welcome to go over and check out some of the merchandise we've got. My personal favourite is those spray suits, so they're a good quality Colad branded spray suit with the Gunman logo on it. There's also hats, drink coolers, hoodies and t-shirts, so be sure to go over and check out the link in the description if you are interested.